Hello everyone, welcome back to the Keep Productive YouTube channel. It is Francesco here, and in today's video we're reviewing the worst to-do list applications. I thought it'd be funny to pick out a few applications that are on the App Store and give them a quick review. Now, of course, there's got to be a sort of lesson or some education in this video. I want to talk a little bit before. You can use the timestamps below just to skip to my opinions on these apps, but I'm going to give you a bit of education before, not bit of education before, a bit of like some of the learnings that you could apply to everyday sort of research on productivity applications. Then we'll dive into the apps. So of course, when you're diving into applications, the research is really key. I think the more time you spend on the research, the more chance you will stick with that application. And with to-do list applications, that's the exact same experience. It's important to invest early days in that research before you jump into an application. But one of the things that can sort of stunt you is something called ASO, and this is called App Search Optimization. Now, when you go to the App Store, could be Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, and you type in something in search, a lot of the time you get an array of options in front of you. ASO stands for App Store Optimization, and basically this means that a developer or someone that's uploaded an application may actually be uploading it and utilizing things like keywords or other optimization attributes that can help them to rank better on the App Store, not because they're better, but because they've managed to play some stealth really well. It's sort of like if you Googled something and the top 5 could be from a range of different sites, maybe not the best resource, however, because they've done with the keywords very well, they've ranked good on Google. So you can start to see here that there's some applications that you may never have even heard of when you're browsing the App Store. Look, this lists to do. Do is a fairly newer one. Minimalist. There's a few obviously that have been around for a while. To-do list. These are ones that tend to be popular with people who don't really care about the developer behind it as much and just download whatever's in front of them. So it's important that you do the research beforehand because you could be missing out on a better to-do list application than necessarily jumping in. So I've picked out 6 that I'm going to be reviewing here. So let's go in and check them out. So these were all ones that I just viewing the screenshots thought looked not so good. So let's start with Week Plan. So with Week Plan, this looks old school, but basically you have a calendar in front of you and you can basically start writing down things that like you need to do during the day. But I really hate the swiping abilities and the fact that you're limited to going on the top page. There's no search option either. So you can only go to your calendar and you can write notes or tasks. They're charging you £5, which isn't too bad. And I guess if you're someone that uses a visual calendar like this, it's not too bad. But for me, this looks pretty bad as an application, just because you wouldn't be able to search for anything, you wouldn't be able to tag anything, you wouldn't be able to find anything really. You're probably better off using Apple Reminders in my opinion. So next up is a productivity application with a twist. This application basically allows you to add a task, and the real USP, apart from maybe the ability to add tags and things like that, is the fact that you can, when you tick off a task, make it sound like a seagull. So basically, if I add a task, let's just say we'll call it Seagull, and oh, that's really weird. Strange. Oh my god, this is so confusing. Oh no. See, even the UI of it's awful. There's adverts down the bottom. It's a bit of a shambles. And I've just clicked on an advert. I've managed to get the task back. So basically the USP is when you tick something off, oh, you can hear a seagull sound. So that's really its USP. And I wonder who the hell thought of this application. And it's really mad. But you can add things to the inbox. You can add things to flagged and tagged, and you can sort stuff out. But really, it's awful. And I hate that the plus button is down here near the adverts. It's sort of a bit oh god, click me, and the speed at which you can add stuff is so dreadful. So I'm giving this a 0.5. This is awful, but I do like the concept that you get seagulls. I think I suggested to Todoist to add a seagull ability soon. We'll see if Amir adds it. Next up is this app called Errands. The reason I picked this one is because it looks like it was from the 1950s. Actually, that's a bit far back, 1980s. So if I add a task like edit video. No Seagull sounds, but it's sort of like really old school looking. But I guess if you're someone that's used to using like applications, but look at this. I mean, really confusing the way it's set up, and I don't understand what these are. You know, does that mean that, oh, that's a prioritization, let's move it to a quick schedule? So yeah, like this one was again one that ranked really well in ASO in the app stores, but doesn't really do a good job at making a good experience if you compare it to things like Todoist, which is free. Next up is tasks. This one was ranking really well, but really is so basic in its ability. You could probably get better experience from Apple reminders, if I'm honest. So if I said edit video, you can only have categories. The categories are really confusing, but it's really just a list. Like, you might as well get Apple reminders at this rate. So basic. Next up is this to-do list application. And again, this is just like a piece of paper. You rate something high in priority and you add an item with an urgency item. It's just really like old school. I think it's because these sort of apps are, I couldn't even go to the down button then. I couldn't even get to add item. Oh my God, this is confusing. So if I won't edit video. Okay, yeah, it's just like really grim looking. But again, you know, I guess if you're doing a basic, but I wish they would have had a better UI than this. It looks dreadful. To-do items. And finally, a not to-do list. This is like a one where you can add like things you don't want to do during your day. But yeah, it's so dreadful. And it's just like you write your own one. So like, don't eat pizza, but I don't think you can even like add it as a you like, oh okay, oh I'll go don't eat pizza, so you go in and write your own, and it's a bit like, oh, really confusing because you have to go into it every time. Like there's no even like habit tracking, so this sort of like basically a list. You might as well just write a list of. Anyway, guys, those are some of the worst to-do list applications that I've seen. I would give all my points for the Seagull one. No, but seriously, even the week plan one's not too bad, I guess, because you could like open it up as like a planner, and if you want to take it, it might be good for shift workers or people who use Filofax in the past. So, but these just look really bad applications. So my moral of the story is don't trust the apps that you download just because they're high in the App Store. Do your own research, check out the developer, check out privacy, check out everything before you invest in this one for more than, say, a couple of years. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that one. Let me know whether you want me to do that for note-taking applications, other ones, just having a bit of a laugh, to be honest. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Cheerio.